Welcome to the Imaginative Storm Writing Prompt of the Week session. I'm James Nave. I'm usually here with Allegra Houston. She's absent today, as you can see, so I'm going it solo. Every Saturday, we gather for an Imaginative Storm writing gathering workshop salon, which takes place at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, noon Eastern Time on Zoom. If you ever would like to join it, you can go to imaginativestorm.com and you'll find the Zoom link there. So we work for an hour from the imaginative storm point of view. So that's what we're going to do now. So here's how it works. We start out on Saturday morning by sharing an image or maybe a sound file or a video. Today, it's an image. And so what I would like for you to do is to do the same thing we do on Saturday. I'm going to share the image and I will time you for 2 minutes. And I would like for you to generate words or phrases based on your response to the image. You can glance at the image once and pop, a phrase comes up or a word, and then you can go from there and build without ever looking back at the image. Or you can look at the image over and over and see how that image informs the list that you're going to make. So here's the image. Relax, and when the image comes up for 2 minutes, just generate words or phrases and see what happens. So here's the image, and your time begins now. So now you have a personal list. It didn't exist 2 minutes ago. Now it does. It's brand new, something you can work with. So on Saturday morning, everybody does the same thing. They end up with a personal list. So we also on Saturday morning create a community list. And the way that works is really easy. You may already know how we do it. I go around the room and I ask everybody to contribute one phrase or word from their list. And everybody on the Zoom call, they generate a community list. They write that list down. So we all have the community list as well as our personal lists. So it's two lists we work from. And so what I'm going to do now is read the list that I took on the Saturday morning call. And it looks like this. Here's my Saturday morning written work. You can see it's a little messy. I use a pen and I use not loose leaf paper, but I use unlined paper. So this is the written work I did, and here's the list. So I'm going to read the list for you now so you'll get a sense of it. And I'll put the list up for you to see as I read it. So here's the list. Self-portrait, bent wood rocker, make yourself complete, squiggle, make yourself comfortable, squiggle, ooh la la, a steamy novel. My heart has legs. My heart does have legs. Mid chapter, Holding Dreams, open book, Burt Reynolds' chair, hot suit, lovebirds, the way we see this, soulmates, coquette, languorous, glass vase or glass vase, depending on how you say it, lonesome pine, total in body, shoeless, where's my head? Now, as I was reading that list from this book and you were looking at the list already formed, you could see I was stumbling a little bit. I was reading the list from my sloppy work rather than from the list that you looked at on the screen. And that's important to remember that you don't have to get this stuff right. You just have to show up and do something, and you can keep it as messy as you want. A lot of people will say, I can't read my writing. I don't know what to do with that. Well, you just don't read it. And maybe you will go back and you'll recognize something that you didn't know was there. So mess versus organization. So what I'd like for you to do now is to use this list that you have, the community list, as well as your personal list. And maybe if you write down the community list, that'll be helpful too. So you can back the video up and generate a community list based on what you just saw with the more organized list. However you go about it, you have two lists. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to time you for 10 minutes. And in that 10-minute period, I want you to generate whatever you please. And it might sound poetic. It might sound like just a report that you turn in to somebody who asks you for a report. It can have a range, but here's the most important part. Right from the imaginative point of view, let your imaginative mind take the lead and trust that your rational mind will be there to catch what your imaginative mind generates. So it's a dance between your imaginative mind and your rational mind. And you put the two together, and there's a collaboration that happens, and they dance together. And the imaginative mind is leading, and the rational mind is following, and it's a dance. And you never know what's going to happen. So just like the word list that you created, it was brand new. Now you're going to write for 10 minutes. And what you will have at the end of 10 minutes does not exist now. But let's see what appears. Your 10 minutes begins now. And before I go on, I would like to also say that the image that you worked with is called the evaluation of the chair. Imagination as a vehicle for escape from boredom and complacency by Brian Hart. The evolution of the chair. Wonder what it would be like to be a chair. Well, that's another writing prompt. But anyway, that's the image. If you are happy with what you wrote, we would love it if you would go to imaginativestorm.com and publish it on our circle community. We'd love to be able to read it. And you can find that link at imaginativestorm.com, like I said. So I hope you experienced a bit of the joy that comes when you dance, when you stay messy, when you don't worry so much about perfection, when you generate work that looks messy like this, and yet this work, messy as it looks, has an organization to it. And that's the rational mind part. So the imaginative mind and the rational mind dance together and you generate something. So you can do this as much as you like. Thank you ever so much for doing this work right now. And, please do come back again and take another spin. Till then, like I said, thank you very much. See you somewhere down the line.